idea that like everything needed to go darker and more messed up and more people needed to die than season 1, and it kind of pushed everything into a really dark, unforgiving place. And
coming off of, I mean, just with the success of season 1, it's kind of like when you do something that's so off the charts phenomenal, doing a second act is always, there's more pressure. It's probably was way more intense and stressful, I imagine, to put it together. For you, I know, right? We have the easy part. It's like, wow, the script is awesome. Thanks, guys. Whee!
It's your decision.
Thanks, Julian. Yeah.
Yeah,
lots of gun
Aaron.
pointing scenes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We do need
right.
the food. Good call.
They haven't heard of the benefits of fasting.
Aaron was also Molly in season 1.
She was.
Episode 4. Yeah.
She's fantastic.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's been in.
And then she was in Wolf, obviously.
Yep. So Gavin coming back for season 2.
It's the best day of my life.
What was it like coming back?
No, so I was curious, and originally I think that they had pitched that Kenny would be the Carver character, that he was going to go real dark and be real awful. He'd be the big bad. I was just excited, to have a job.
Yeah.
It's like, woo, keep going. No, it was great to come back. I like the way that his arc worked out. Hello and welcome.
Of AJ in Little Swaddle, and then the voice actor was like mapped, or the voice files were mapped to the wrong actor in the engine, and so every time Kenny was talking, so it's like, Gavin, you're saying lines, and the baby's mouth was moving and animating. It was the creepiest weird thing.
I want to see that.
Got it.
That sounds amazing.
Dennis has everything.
This intro.
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
Clem's down. She's up.
I remember this. So I guess the previous episode ended with the shootout. Now we're showing the results.
Luke!
Scott Porter, ladies and gentlemen.
Let go, Luke.
And that wall
Where's
is
Orville?
the wall that I think of when we do those nonverbals. That's the wall that you're crouched under breathing.
Oh, right. Right.
Yeah.
I'm serious. That's it.
Oh, no.
Not the baby!
Look, Clem's already, taking
Crawl
care of
through the
AJ.
baby. We did get bullet hits on the ground. I couldn't remember if that effect actually ever came in. Sweet.
Oh. Well, what does it look like I'm doing?
I'm trying to get to the baby.
There's still some CPR going on back there.
There you
It's
go.
funny, this is still, the urgency of walkers is still very much alive.
Mm-hmm.
Got some Luke here.
Yeah. Scott Porter, hell of a guy.
Scott,
Good beatboxer.
who is a
Really
good-
he's
really
an
good at
singer,
karaoke.
and he's a
Yeah.
big fan of Kid Beyond. And he said
Who isn't?
beatboxing was I forget what he said. It's how he got himself through school or something. He
Yeah.
was a beatboxer, but he's also a total gamer
Is huge.
and
Football player, too.
football
Yeah.
and really
What does he not
great,
do?
What's great is that
Yeah,
he
really.
does not
seriously,
tap dance.
what doesn't he do?
He does not tap dance.
So perfect.
I bet
You
he
should
could.
see him on the trampoline though.
That's fine.
No, he is.
He was cast really quickly, right? Didn't that whole thing come together in like a week?
Because what happened was,
Weren't
it
you
did
making
come together
selects
quickly.
when that came together quickly?
We were, it happened quickly. This was kind of the season that ushered in more celebrity talent, and which comes with its own kind of. I mean, we. Like, what is this little game?
Is it beneath me?
Yeah, totally. Can I do this? And he just did it. It was great.
Well, yeah, it was kind of in that beginning phase of celebrities doing voice acting, well, not in general, but for games.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Sure.
Season 1 had won 85 or something Game of the
Over
Year
100.
awards.
What
Sorry,
is
not
this?
to be
Over
precise.
100?
Over 100.
It was,
I'll
I would
tell
say
you.
it was
It was
100.
counting.
103.
Making up the number and throwing it out there. But yeah, I mean, so the game had done well.
Yeah, that's true.
And Telltale was one of the first real narrative pushers.
Absolutely. And it
The
was
audition
kind of like,
felt so different.
yeah, that was season 2 was definitely the fruits of season 1
Of your labor.
success.
Yeah. He did an amazing job as Carver.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Until I killed him.
and Clem watched. My Clem, at least.
You weren't supposed to watch.
Well,
I told
I
you not
did.
to. God damn it. Season 1 had won 85 or something Game of the
Over
Year
100.
awards.
What
Sorry,
is this?
not to be
Over
precise.
100?
Over 100.
It was,
I'll
I would
tell
say
you.
it was 100,
Making
103.
up the number and throwing it out there. But yeah, I mean, so the game had done well.
Yeah, that's true.
And Telltale was one of the first real narrative pushers.
Absolutely. And it
The
was
audition
kind of like,
felt so different.
yeah, that was season 2 was definitely the fruits of season 1 success.
Yeah. He did an amazing job as Carver.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Until I killed him.
and Clem watched. My Clem, at least.
You weren't supposed to watch.
Well,
I told you
did.
not to.
It's okay.
There's going to be some darkness in the commentary for this season.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
It's
darker.
a bit of a dark game.
Yeah, it is. Started off right and say one of the problems with this season, from a development standpoint, was season 1 was dark, but there was hope at the end. And in this season, we sort of lost that.
Back.
Yeah, no, and we got knocked for it rightfully. Like there was sort of a internal idea that like everything needed to go darker and more messed up, and more people needed to die than season 1, and it kind of pushed everything into a really dark, unforgiving place. And
Well, and coming off of, I mean, just with the success of season 1, yeah, it's kind of like when you do something that's so off the charts phenomenal, doing a second act is always, there's more pressure.
Yeah.
It's probably was way more intense and stressful, I imagine, to
For
put
you.
it together. For you, I
Well,
know, right? We have the
yeah.
easy
Yeah.
part. He was like, wow, the script is awesome. Thanks, guys. Whee!
It's your decision.
thanks, Julian. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lots of gun
Aaron.
pointing scenes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We do need
That's
the
right.
food. Good call.
They haven't heard of the benefits of fasting.
Aaron was also
They don't follow
Molly in season 1,
She was.
episode
yeah.
4. Yeah.
She's fantastic.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's been in.
And then she
a lot
was
of
in
games.
Wolf, obviously.
Yep.
Yep.
See? He wants to help. Oh, don't be stupid. He's just trying to save his skin.
So Gavin coming back for season 2.
It's the best day of my life.
What was it like coming back?
No, so I was curious, and originally I think that they had pitched that Kenny would be the Carver character, that he was going to go real dark and be real awful. He'd be the big bad. I was just excited, to have a job.
Yeah.
It's like, woo, keep going. No, it was great to come back. I like the way that his arc worked out. I mean, I would have been fine if he had been the big bad. To me, it's just a challenge to take the character someplace
Yeah,
else.
totally.
But I mean, it's all you guys writing it, So it's like as long as the words are on the page, it's like my job's just to get them off of there.
Well, and we were talking about that earlier about how, like, Fenoy was crying, Melissa was crying, Nikki Rapp was crying after Larry got killed, and she was, tweaked for a couple hours after that session. And then there was one where you were just losing it in there. And then take was over, and we're like, all right, you good? Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm fine.
You're
What else
like,
we got to do?
I'm just acting.
No, it's just the faucet. I turned the faucet off.
It was so
He
great.
goes he
And
goes
it's- and
home
the-
and sits in the dark
water
in fetal
stops flowing.
position, like, oh god.
Look, I know you're probably pissed about me leaving. When I heard the gunshots, I knew it was a mistake. If it helps, the thing I'd normally do is walk away for good. But I didn't. Despite what my instincts are telling me. Despite everything I've seen. Everything I've been through.
So, you want a cookie? You want a cookie for doing the right thing?
If you have one, I'll take it.
What I'm saying is, I'm here to try to make this work. If I get a cookie for that, then awesome. All I can do is promise you I won't abandon you again. Which, to be fair, I've never done before. Even though I probably should have. A few times now.
You don't gotta point the gun at him the whole time. Forget what we just went through?
He ain't going anywhere, Kenny. No need to get your arm all sweaty.
I'm worried about Kenny. He's in a dark place. We gotta keep an eye on him. Everything he's been through. He's lost. It's changing him.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
You're the only
That character with the glasses, Arvo,
Orville.
was
Orville.
named after, I believe, Steve McManus's uncle or something, who is he's one of the designers on the
Oh, that's
season.
funny. I didn't know that.
Why isn't he here? We need Steven.
Damn it. So sad. The original designed ending for this was... I can say this now, probably, maybe.
I
Kenny
would
versus
say.
Luke.
Yeah.
That was the finale.
Oh.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
was a whole lot of Team Luke versus Team Kenny,
Yep.
and I was
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm reading the words on the page and people telling me to kill myself, and I'm like, I don't know.
I know, man.
He's a really
Well-
nice guy. We seem like we're friends.
There was so much attention to, like, microscopic attention to a
Sure.
lot of the content. And I did that. What was my guy's name? Who was the guy that,
You were all
that,
the
that
guys.
fights with Clem in the woods?
Dion,
No.
Chad, Wesley,
No. Keep going, man.
Brian.
It's like
Was it Kent?
No, yeah, totally. Oh my God! Wow, this is great.
But I guess going back to the first episode of this season.
I love that you're driving this bus.
Yeah, starting off, obviously season 1 ends with Clementine off on her own. From the middle of at least season 1, there was talk of, oh man, it'd be really cool to have a playable Clementine in season 2. But it always was just we'll see how the game does. We don't know if anyone's even gonna respond well yet. Obviously they did, and that came to be a real thing, which was super exciting. And the original sort of intention was taking Clementine. Obviously, she'd sort of built a family dynamic with these characters in season 1. That was stripped of her. And now it was bringing her to a new family. Luke was sort of designed to be the cool, brother, older brother type figure.
Uncle.
Who,
Cool
uncle, there you go, cool uncle.
Uncle Luke.
Who you would get invested in and just be okay, I can stick with this guy and keep Clementine safe. Because weirdly, a lot of people would play season 2 and would tell us that they still had a little bit of Lee in them, and they were even though I'm directly controlling Clementine, I feel like I'm kind of playing Lee.
Well, that
Right.
was a
through
super
her, which was
traumatic
crazy.
ending, and people
Yeah.
Big
that was
time.
Yeah.
destroyed people. The loss of Lee.
That
so
was
that
easily the moment
had
that
to
turned
reflect
people.
into
Made
into
them
season
cry.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making grown men cry.
Yeah.
That's the goal. No. So yeah, the idea was basically setting up a dynamic where you really get to like Luke, and then Kenny shows back up.
Right.
Who we knew from season 1,
How
every
y'all
person
doing?
loved Kenny.
Right.
Just like everyone loves Gavin. It's just one of
Yeah.
those universal things.
They do.
I don't know why.
Yeah, it just happens. And so it was building to the finale fight in episode 5 being between Luke and Kenny, and you basically have to
yeah.
choose between old friends and new friends. In episode 2,
That makes all
there's this
kinds
scene
of
where you're
sense.
sitting
Yeah.
down at the table. Either you sit with Luke
Yeah.
and his sort of new friends, or Kenny, and you're making choices early on, building to that.
Yeah.
this way. And I couldn't do anything to stop it. Everyone we set out with just gone. Nick, Pete, Alvin, and Becca. Carlos, Sarah. And for what? It don't make any sense.
You can't blame yourself. We all make mistakes.
Some of us more than others. I could have done more. And that ain't up for debate. I know it in my bones. And I gotta live with it.
All right, this should work.
It's perfect.
What I miss?
Nothing much. You know, playing mostly. Guess how far this place is.
Luke's feeling bad about what happened.
What?
Really?
But it's not your fault. Bad things happen and you can't control it all the time. She's right. You don't go blaming yourself for this.
All right. Can we drop it? Thanks a lot.
Hey, Clem, go over and see if you can change the bandages on Kenny's wound. I offered, but I don't think he was comfortable with me doing it. But you know him better than I do. Maybe he'll let you do it. They really need changing.
The success of season 1 brought a lot of new pressures to the studio. And one of the sort of core points of feedback is we had people who had never played Telltale games before being into it, but then going, oh, these are like choose your own adventure. Shouldn't I have multiple endings? Isn't that the point of these games?
Right.
So there was sort of a studio-wide directive to take what this was going to be and turn it into a multi-ending branch thing. And sort of along the way, some of the pieces of like Luke dying off earlier and Jane being introduced and being a bigger role to sort of try and fill that gap. But it never quite gets there because it wasn't set up from the beginning. It was a thing that sort of evolved during the course of production. That said, there's people who still point to this ending and go, oh, it's really cool that it pays off kind of how you choose, and there's 5 different endings.
Right.
So states that can come out.
Five.
But it's hard.
That was crazy.
It is crazy.
I mean,
But
it
from a
is
storytelling
crazy.
perspective, it's hard to make, especially when you're trying to retrofit in the end, make
Sure.
5 like epic feeling
Which
endings. You know,
we were
It's-
retrofitting almost
Yeah.
from day one, where we would
Yeah.
record and then like
Totally.
we would have another session to tweak.
There's a lot of
and
pickups
change
on
things.
this
and-
season.
So
yeah.
you're whispering now.
Yeah, Julian would be like, "Okay, so you're angry in this one."
You're like,
and then,
"Didn't I-
And then
didn't
you're
I
not
know-
angry.
didn't I do
and I'm
this
like,
already?"
I'm pretty sure we did this line already, and you're like, "No, I don't.
Let's
think
just get it.
let's just get it anyway."
Yeah.
Or the
Yeah, oh, I
Pierre,
remember those,
Pierre's
yeah.
great line, just to have it.
Yep.
Just to have
Just
it.
to have it.
For
And
safe.
Which is
often that was
which
why.
is like voice director for you haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
We want you to do it this way.
Or
That's fine.
we know that when we go back to the office, things
Yeah.
might change, and we just want to be covered.
Ew,
People that-
no.
Oh wait, I have to use
Don't
the
touch
I have
it.
to use his mechanic.
Don't touch it.
Winston. It was Winston.
Winston.
Um,
I said Wilson. That
yeah,
was
it was
close enough. Come on.
So close. So close.
So
You should have gotten it from
there
him.
was so much things were in motion. Oh, that's really brutal.
That looks fantastic.
be pretty when this heals. I'm guessing this is going to be the shitty part.
It was really cool to step into, to what it takes to be a playable character.
Yeah.
I mean, just being a secondary character for both of us in season 1, you still are
It's so
recording
easy.
so much. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it definitely was a whole new ballgame
Yeah.
for me to
All the
go in.
look-ats and,
Yeah,
and
you have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
make
and the
those
lookouts are
choices.
tricky. They seem so easy. You're like, well, this tree could come in handy, whatever. But
Yeah.
they can't sound.
these matches might come in handy.
Might want to save this for later. You know, what I mean, just
Yeah.
and we can. It's a game. It has
Yeah.
to be in there, but it can't be this like.
It has to feel
It
organic.
has to feel good.
And it's a weird thing, you're right, because if you have to sound interested by it,
Right.
Because a lot of those things
And she's
are
not
useful in
interested
the
by
game.
anything.
They are usually. And usually you have 10 minutes left in the session, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh shit, the look
Oh,
at
you know what else we need is these 900 lines.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
You were great at that. He would just go through, like, he'd record 50 lines in a row, and he's like, I got it, dude.
That's
It's fine.
what Gavin do.
It's fine.
Cut
I do.
me loose.
Not
Yeah,
just
no,
don't
please,
want to
please
let
shut up.
So in this, just back to that in the transition, it's pretty funny because when I got the call, like, okay, Clem's gonna be the playable character, like, how woohoo, super exciting. But there was also this like weird pressure. I think it was Mark Darren. I don't know who sent me the email, but it was like, we need to get the voice down. This is really important that we transition it. You know, even though she's only like, 9 or 10 now, she's actually more like a badass 16-year-old, and it was so difficult for me.
Yeah.
And I think I sent him like 17 different takes of what I thought the voice would be, and I was really stressing out about it. And it's so funny because it just goes from right here to literally right there. But just getting to that stressed me the fuck out.
It took you 7 months.
I was like, they're going to recast me. I was so stressed out because there was this whole like...
They never would have
recast
you.
I know, but
we didn't get that far into the recast.
There was that... we tried. It just didn't work out.
So that's the backstory.
But it was interesting because, I literally sent like 17 different...
Yeah. I remember you
Clem
freaking
would
out.
Maybe.
Yeah, I remember you
sound like.
We were
I was
texting
tripping.
back and forth about this.
But those are the subtleties, though. That's exactly the thing that makes all the different inflections so important. Is that, like the look-ats too, and just what you just did there. When you hear that, you just think, oh, it's just 6%. But
to be able to
be able to do that,
though,
6%.
that's a skill.
Right.
It's a skill.
Well,
Totally.
once we got there, though, and once I heard it, and I think I even sent that take, I'm like, oh, well, there it is right there. But it was just like, ugh. I felt that pressure, too, of like, oh, God, season 1 was so amazing.
Yeah.
Like, everything has the bear, It was really an art of letting go at one point. I was like, I just got to let go.
Yeah.
It's getting dark. Maybe we should stop.
As far as just the studio at this point in time, that was a global thing, right?
Yeah,
Coming off the success of season
totally,
1
man.
was
Massive for everybody.
Yeah, it was good in some ways in that there's sort of more resources devoted and you're allowed to be branchier in certain areas. So there was things that were good about it, and then there was also things that were really rough about it. For sure. Yeah.
Well, and we started working on multiple things at once.
Oh,
in fact, season 2, I was working on Wolf Among Us,
Yeah.
and you would be in there for D and Dumb, and then I'm like, can you just stick around for Kenny? And it was
Yeah.
I guess I can.
And by the way, for those who don't know, well, all of you in this room do, obviously, but Gavin was Beast and I was Beauty, so we
Oh yeah.
so we would have these sessions as Kenny and Clem, and then
that was
getting
awesome.
to be.
Really good.
But that was
D and Dumb.
fun.
Yeah, you had a good.
I was D
Yeah,
and
you
Dumb, and I was Beast.
Oh, those recording sessions were pretty awesome, though, because I would go from like the world of dark doom and despair of The Walking Dead, and then
top
getting
of the morning
to
to you.
play. I was just like this,
I get to be
not
a
the
frog
wolf of,
with a British accent.
I know,
Perfect.
poor Toad. I mean, not like it was a light-hearted
I
game
know.
by any means, but it was just different. It
more
was
lighthearted.
more lighthearted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a fun game to work on. Those were fun sessions.
That's a good sign.
He's cute.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? Most babies are pretty ugly this soon after being born.
That's true. They usually look like weird little aliens.
Here, I got him.
Come on over. It's safe. Today's my birthday. Near as I can tell, at least. Definitely this week.
Well, happy birthday, Luke.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday.
So, how old are you now?
I am 27 years old.
That's pretty old.
Sure as hell feel a lot older.
Don't even start with that shit.
Got out of college 5 years ago. Feels like a million years. At least I don't have to worry about paying off them student loans.
I hear that. I'm sure there's some asshole sitting on that paperwork waiting to collect.
Probably.
I'd have liked to go to college.
And what did you study?
Majored in art history.
That's cool.
Sounds like you majored in working in a coffee shop.
Pretty much.
Oh, stop it.
Maybe a minor in agriculture. Keep the old man happy.
Oh, I almost forgot. Was saving it for a special occasion. Well, it being your birthday and all. Figure, this is good a time as any.
Drink the rum.
No, drink
Yeah.
it.
No, this is Pierre couldn't be here today, but he helped and write a lot
We
of
love
great
him.
stuff. And this was, I feel like, one of the moments. This scene was something that was kind of missing from the rest of the season.
Oh, very.
Yeah, and so it's great. I really
Downtime,
like the scene a lot. Like,
Character
it just-
building.
Yeah, and people are sort of enjoying each other's company and not just trying to murder each other.
Yeah.
And they're also not worried about what's outside.
Kenny looks like he still wants to murder
Yeah,
somebody.
secretly.
Kenny.
That's
But
just how
he's
Kenny
willing
looks.
to let bygones be bygones for now.
He's secretly thinking, I'm gonna have a head-to-head with Luke at the end. Oh no, I'm gonna die.
I remember that.
I'm gonna stab him
I
in
remember
the fucking eye. Sorry, can we swear on this thing?
Oh, yeah.
Hello, have you not
I
been
guess so.
listening to me for the last?
Absolutely.
No,
In
not
fact,
even
swear
a little
more
bit.
than you were going to.
Okay, cool.
Just be B, Kenny.
Yeah, just be him.
I've been choosing lines for the definitive edition, and then Kenny has that one iconic fuck that he does
so
like
good.
when they
That
find
was
like
fun.
the thing blocking the road. I'm
It was
putting
a
that
truck. It was like a
was like a
tanker
tanker
truck
truck
that fell
hanging that
over the
blocked
edge
the
of the
train.
bridge. Yeah,
in. Yeah, and he's just in
'Cause
utter
that
despair
happens.
at that moment.
in the apocalypse. Weird shit happens all the time.
Weird driving in the apocalypse.
Yeah.
It's true.
Thanks, Kenny.
Fire's real nice. Plenty of room if you want to get warm.
Maybe in a bit.
I didn't expect her to come back. Just when I thought I got her figured out, she up and surprises.
A good thing. You saved our ass.
I know. I just don't know what she's got. I'm not sure about her anymore.
Well, she helped us back then. So that puts her as okay in my book.
Well, it ain't no secret how you feel about her. Oh, come on. I'm just teasing.
It was stupid.
I understand. She's a pretty girl. Once you get past all the dirt and guts.
I don't know. I guess I just wanted to forget about all this shit for like 10 minutes.
10 minutes? That's longer than I'd last at this point.
Hey,
Alright, it wasn't 10 minutes.
come on. We got a little one around.
Sorry. Forget I said anything.
It's my fault for bringing it up. I know what you guys are talking about. I certainly hope not.
At some point, that backpack was made.
I
Oh,
There was like
I
a
have
prop of
one.
that.
I have one.
I
Do
have
you?
one.
Yeah, Job sent us.
Oh,
I was
that's
going to say,
so
Job
great.
and
One
Laura
of
had
the
them.
excellent
and they were always,
things.
Yeah.
And it was full of like
It had the duck.
all
it
of the
had
games.
Clem's drawing of like
Yeah.
Duck and Kenny
and had like
and
physical copies of all of the seasons.
of the
Oh, wow.
seasons.
How
it
did
had
we
the
get
picture
those?
of Lee.
All I got was a hat.
Do you want the backpack?
No, it's okay. I think so.
They made Clem back?
I feel
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will take a
I didn't
picture
know I
and
did.
One
send
either?
it to you guys.
Okay,
Oh my
okay.
God! Why did they give them to us?
You're like,
I'm not questioning it.
I
I'm
might
going
not
with
have,
it.
I shouldn't have mentioned it.
I'm very grateful.
thing I got.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a bunch of weird semi-exclusive swag items made within Telltale. I remember only like way after the fact I got one of those tiny Buffkin statues.
Oh, wow.
But like they were
Yeah.
clearly not
I
they were
didn't
clearly
get one
not
of
for
those.
important people. Like not they're only for important people at first.
There was like 5 of them.
and I
Right.
yeah. And at one point Job was just like, "Hey, did you like direct an episode of Wolf?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like,
Here.
"Oh, here's a Buffkin statue."
Here,
All right.
take this thing.
Cool.
Take this trinket I had, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just had one in the closet, the weird swag closet.
Somewhere else. Clem, go see if you can get Jane and Kenny.
Most of the stuff I have is from the infamous day of the fire sale.
Oh yeah, that
When
was
suddenly,
a great game.
Oh, man.
We had the Narnia at the old office,
Yeah.
which was like an asbestos nightmare.
Yeah.
And
It was.
one day the city was coming to look at us or something because we weren't
Uh-oh.
supposed to be in there at all.
Get rid of it.
And they were like, everyone
Everything
take all.
must go.
Literally, that's what happened. They said, take all this stuff, and I've like everyone just grabbed like old games and Sam and Max soundtracks. I have a Trogdor poster still hanging in my room.
nice.
from
I
that
feel
day.
like people almost got trampled.
The
It was a weird, like,
Burninator.
the email went
It was
out of, like,
crazy, yeah.
everyone go to Narnia now, there's free stuff. And,
Just
like,
take
everybody
all the
got up
swag.
for their desks. And then other people who didn't get the email were watching everyone else run in the other direction. And
they
we're
just
just like, I
started
want
running?
whatever that is.
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
Yeah.
There must be nachos or pizza
Or
somewhere.
I want to run from what they're running from.
Yeah.
I really like
This is a
scene.
great scene, yeah.
Are you gonna have her drink the rum or what?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, thank you. And
I chose the I wanted drink option earlier, and I was denied by Kenny, so I'm
Well,
totally going for that bottle.
Don't you drink.
I selfishly choose those because I know that people who play it aren't going to do it because they're like, no, Clem. You know, they're very protective of Clem.
She's too small.
So I want to hear those
She's not
selfishly.
ready.
Yeah.
I take the drag of the cigarette. You know, I do all the things that are not.
Man, if you think you might die any second, I think you can indulge in a few vices.
Right. I mean, she is like 10. That's,
Right.
It's a
Going
little,
on 28.
It's a little
It's
much.
fine.
For me,
It's the
again, it's just I
apocalypse.
just want to hear the audio and what was chosen.
I don't know. It might be awkward. I wasn't expecting to, you know, be around.
Why? Because you made it with Luke?
What does that even mean? What's the it?
You know.
Yeah, because I made it with Luke.
It's not a big deal.
Why does this feel like I'm signing a contract or something? That's really good. Have you had any? Want to sip? It's okay. It just might burn a little. Feel it in your nose.
Sure.
You okay? Uh-oh. Busted. I better take that back.
Weirdly, we're talking about nonverbals being a
Yeah.
thing, and I remember in episode 1 of season 2, there's a moment where you think Clem is at her darkest when she sort of gets separated from Krista and she's off on her own, and there's just
Right.
walkers all around before she gets saved, and she's just like sitting there against a rock,
Yeah.
just like breathing. And I remember we were doing a bunch of takes of that because it was sort of like at the time we'd been sort of blocking it out, and it's like I knew it was going to be like a 45-second thing, and it was just like, okay, so let's start your breathing here
Yeah.
and then work down to this point. And I remember weirdly thinking like we're doing all this for just some nonverbal stuff that usually would just be